How do you attract a spiritual relationship? Today I have a plethora of guests to assist me. I've got Oberon as usual, but you can see I've got some others. Stay tuned and we'll have a big discussion about what you want to do to start to attract your spiritual relationship. Oberon, my buddy, he's very wise, and today he invited his friend Obi. And clearly they both are very wise. They just know so much. And all together we'd like to help you improve your life so that you're living the richness of life. That's to say, financial riches, riches of the heart, riches in adventure, whatever it is that you're after. Life has so many gifts to offer us, and let's figure out and let's get to receiving those gifts and enjoying a wonderful life. So, how do you attract a spiritual relationship? The truth is, the same way you attract anything else. Everything you attract the same way. So whether it is attracting more clients so that you can grow your business, or that spiritual partner, or anything at all, one of the most important things is to change your mind. And here's what I mean by that. Now, please make sure that you really listen, because a lot of people, they're not as wise as my friends here. And they hear this kind of thing, but it kind of goes right past them. That's because they're used to thinking a certain way, and if what they hear doesn't fit sort of into that radar, it goes right past them and they don't hear it. So really, really listen. Because if you're not experiencing the spiritual relationship that you desire, or the business growth you desire, because I love helping entrepreneurs and I love helping spiritual entrepreneurs, then make sure you're listening. Here you go. When you want to have a spiritual relationship, the first thing you want to do is perform an audit. Now, when I go in and I help a business in my marketing firm, one of the first things we do is we perform a marketing audit. That's to say, we take sort of like an inventory of where they're at, how they are marketing, how they should be marketing, how they're expressing themselves, whether or not they're speaking to the right audience. Well, I want you to do the same thing with your love life. Look at yourself. Give yourself an audit. Are you feeling comfortable with love? I mean, if the perfect person knocked on the door today, don't just say you'd love that. I mean, like, really, do you feel like you'd love that? Do you feel like you would be welcoming of that? Would you feel comfortable? Not the idea. We all say yes to the idea. We all say, of course I want $1 million gazillion and the perfect lover and the perfect this and the perfect that. But we don't really mean it. I don't want you to be thinking idea. I want you to be thinking in your heart. Be thinking actuality, in your energy if you can. Would you feel comfortable if the perfect person showed up at your door? How do you feel about love in general? When you go and you see a romantic movie, do you write it off as a Hollywood story? Or do you take a nice sigh and go, I know that'll be me someday? Those are two very different ways to see and experience just the idea of a love story. And neither is valid or invalid. However, if you write it off as a Hollywood fabrication, you don't think it's possible. And in that case, it's going to be very hard for you to hear about it, to feel about it, to experience it for yourself. Getting yourself into the flow of love sounds very difficult at that point. On the other hand, if you sigh and you say, that's going to be me one day, you have room in your heart. You have room in your mind for the idea of love. And you aren't starting to project all sorts of limitations like this. That's going to be me one day. Unless someone comes and hurts me like last time. Or, I don't know if I could ever meet someone like that. There's no good people left. They're all taken, or they're all fuddy-duddies, or they're all... Do you see how your own story, listen to yourself, because your own story will start to give you some audit results. It'll tell you energetically and emotionally where you're really at, and whether or not you're willing to allow something to come into your life. Whether or not you yourself are ready for that spiritual relationship, or if you're kind of really saying you're ready, but they have to almost come through all these filters. It's hard to go through filters. And if someone's in love or looking for love, They want to be accepted. They don't want to have to try to make their way through your past broken hearts. And I know you've heard that. You don't want to have that old baggage. But today I want you to think about it in a different way. I want you to really look at yourself, your heart, your stories. Do you find that within the things you tell people, within the things you share on Facebook about love or about business, are phrases, are sentiments of open welcoming, or are sentiments that you're not ready? Now be careful, because a lot of people aren't as wise as Obi, and they'll lie to themselves, and they'll start to post things that make it sound like they're waiting for Romeo or Juliet to come knocking on their door. But the thing is, the universe can see your heart. It sees your energy, and it doesn't listen to your words. It doesn't read your updates. It doesn't care. So you want to make sure that you really feel that way. Now this is where you really should work with a coach, whether it's a business coach or a relationship coach or a life coach. If you find that your story is not really everything it should be, if you find that you're not as open, as ready to jump right in the way you might be ready to jump into a game, going to a game if you like going to a football game or a baseball game, or the way you might be ready to jump into going out to a great meal or a great movie, there's no resistance there, right? I mean, if your best friend or your lover was to call you up tonight and say, hey, let's go to dinner, let's, a fancy restaurant, let's go here, let's go there, you'd go, I'm there, right? Well, if you're not in the I'm there kind of place for your spiritual relationship, or for your business to grow, or for whatever it is that you're after, maybe to meet some new friends, or start a new career painting, something like that, anything it is that you're after. If you're not in that really ready, I'm there kind of place right now, work with a coach. They're going to be able to help you change your mind. Hopefully they'll be able to help you decharge so that some of those places that are feeling unwelcoming, that are feeling like you've been hurt in the past, those are charged places. They should be able to help you bring those down. They should be able to help you rewrite some of your story. Get over your past, work through it, or whatever it is you need to do so that you can tell a bright, brand new story, so that you've really changed your mind and you're right there, right now. Because this is an unlimited universe. I want you to consider 7 billion people on the planet. There's no way that your perfect mate, so to speak, isn't out there, right? I mean, out of 7 billion people, that person's out there for you. So the real question isn't, is that person out there? The real question is, are you right there? Is your story, is your heart, are your energy such that you're right there and ready to allow the universe to bring what's really already there? Or are you not? Are you really still working through the last relationship? Still working up your courage, your confidence to build your business, to express yourself? One thing that I love about business or relationship is they're all the same. They're all about us being who we are, being filled with the love, the passion, the joy, the creativity in life. Whether it is in our desire for a romantic relationship, a spiritual relationship, or an entrepreneurship. They're all the same in that sense. So make sure that you really stop and assess where you're at. Because if you don't have what you desire, and if you're not already starting to see it coming into your life, then there's a place in there where you're not really there. Help yourself get there, whether it's with a coach, a friend, or if you can do it yourself. The most important thing is that you're pragmatic and you get yourself there, so that you too are living the richness of life.